Hi there, Chris from TotallyEV, and here we're doing a dedicated audio review on the BMW X2 plug-in hybrid. Now if you'd like a full detailed review of the vehicle itself, do check it up on your pop-up banner or indeed in the description below. Also down there you'll find links to our social media platforms, so if you're on Instagram or Twitter for example, we'd very much appreciate a follow, allow you to keep up with the latest news and reviews from TotallyEV. So to kick things off, let's talk about the audio configuration, and here we've got the stock system setup. Here there is a mid-range driver comprised within each of the 4 doors and a bass driver that is found within the front seats, totaling for 6 speakers. Now if you want the Harman Kardon setup instead, that will bolster the audio's output up from 100 watts up to 360 watts and add an additional 6 speakers, taking the tally up to 12. Now to listen to your own music, you can connect over Bluetooth, where you've got the SBC and AAC codecs, which is great to see, and you can also connect over USB if you've got, let's say, Apple CarPlay. In this respect, the audio system can also be configured via an equalizer. It's only a 2-band equalizer where you've only got treble and bass functions, so it's a little bit limited in this respect. And in our case, we've added 3 notches to the treble to give a little bit of an extra zing. Now to give you a bit of a taster as to how the audio system sounds, we're going to put the camera and microphone in 4 separate locations and play back some music. The song in question is going to be from Priya J. It's called Falling. If you're interested in listening it or indeed purchasing it, check it out in the description below.
Success, I'm not quite sussed it yet. When I reach the brink, don't stop to think. I always sing, and now I'm crawling, I am crawling my way back to falling from so high, falling from so high, so high.
Now with the audio demo out of the way, let's get on to my subjective opinion. And here, because the car doesn't have a dedicated subwoofer unit, it means the sub-bass tones can't really be delivered to full fruition. While the bass drivers comprised within the front seats do give off a decent mid-bass response, the sub-bass sounds a little bit cut off and a little bit rolled off. On the plus side, the mid-bass is very tight and controlled. It doesn't sound over bloated or a little bit overdone. Yes, it does have a little bit of a bassy type of sound signature, but in most consumers' ears I think it'll be quite pleasant to say the least. Now the mids are a little bit pushed back due to the fact that you've only got a singular driver per occupant essentially, and if you don't include the middle occupant for the rear, then you'll have a single driver for each occupant, and these mid-range drivers have really got their work cut out, and as a result you've got a little bit of a recessed, pushed back lower mid-range tone. The upper mids do extend really well, so in Priya's song for example, you'll hear her vocals come out really well, and with 3 notches added to the treble EQ, the highs really do tail off very well and portray a really nice sort of accentuated tone at the top end. Now onto the Soundstage, and here I feel it's a little bit lackluster, purely because of the number of drivers at your disposal. In terms of the mid-range drivers, there's only 4 in total, whereas some of its competitors offer, let's say, 6 full range or mid-range or tweeters as well, for example comprised within the front A-pillars. That's not the case with the BMW X2, at least not with the stock system, and this does has a knock-on effect in terms of the overall width and depth that you get. The Soundstage is a little bit too intimate, and while this won't be a problem, it just won't compete with other vehicles out there, namely ones in the kind of SUV kind of coupe type of market. Now on the plus side, I think the instrument separation is done really well. Despite the lower amount of drivers available, I think BMW have achieved a really good sort of sound in terms of positioning, so the positional cues, even like let's say on Priya's song or other music out there, will come across really well and will keep you kind of engaged. So on the whole, what do I make about the audio system that's comprised within the BMW X2? Well, truthfully I think it's a decent performer. While it could have been bettered with the inclusion of dedicated tweeters or a subwoofer, I think on the whole BMW have achieved a relatively good job with only 6 speakers, where if you consider you've only got 4 mid-range drivers, they really do have their work cut out, and despite that fact don't sound jumbled up or overly recessed, and just on the whole do a decent job. Of course, if you're an audiophile or someone who really likes listening to music, I might suggest you to get the Harman Kardon system instead, because the addition of 6 extra speakers totaling up to 12 and with the inclusion of a subwoofer might really enhance your audio experience. But that's just my thoughts and opinions about it, so I'd be intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And of course, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to see more, and favourite and share if you feel this video will be helpful to someone making an informed decision on the BMW X2. Alright, I've been Chris from TotallyEV. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.